Happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, Reeling in Holistic Health, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I'm your host, Coach Rice, and I want to make sure that you tune in every Monday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, where I have my special guest on to talk about real issues that matter most. I want you to check us out on YouTube, Facebook Live, on Business Facebook page, also on the Be Awesome Network. Stay tuned. I think you're going to really like this next guest. Happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I'm your host, Coach Rice, and with me today, I have a special guest. And I think it's a pretty nice time because we're going to be in maybe the third, I think we're in the third week of January, and people are on the trajectory of health. So
Yes.
I just want to introduce Dr. Kendra-Lee Pearman. She is a holistic wellness coach. And so, Dr. Kendra-Lee, can you tell us where you're from and how did you embark upon this particular journey?
That's really interesting. So I'm from the very small, beautiful island of Bermuda, that sits in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Most people think we are in the Caribbean, but we're not. We're actually out here all by ourselves. And years ago, when my children were young, my oldest daughter's 40, so that's been a long time. I met this lady named Chris Rucker, and she introduced us to a plant-based diet. And she's a Seventh-day Adventist, which is the same denomination I belong to. And I really jumped like feet first in the deep end with this knowledge of eating plants. And
Hmm.
so that was way back in, I want to say maybe 91, 92. It's been a long time. And I kind of embraced this health way of living, health reform, I guess it's called. Our denomination has a health message. And this was basically taken from the health message. And I just jumped in deep and feet first. And I've been doing this for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, detoxing.
Hmm.
Let's talk about that for a minute because
Okay.
a lot of times people drink detox tea.
Hmm.
Is that truly what is actually detoxing? Because I think that kind of can get misconstrued with,
Sure.
I mean, misunderstood with the, maybe a laxative or
Hmm.
something like that. What is actually detoxing?
So that's a really great question. So detoxing, well, the body has detox mechanisms already in place. Our
Okay.
liver, through our bowels, through sweating, through urination, through our nose, we're detoxing all the time. However, oftentimes our detox pathways get jammed up because we're so full of toxins. And so the body is fighting, trying to detoxify itself, but it can't really do that. So instead, these toxins now go into safe places, into the fat within our bodies or into our organs, so that, they're kind of contained in a certain way. And if we do not release these toxins, they then become a part of us becoming sick. And so the detoxification that I talk about is, and what I promote is about using detox fruit and vegetable juices to help the body rid itself of these toxins. So it's not as simple as just taking a tea. You may take a tea that helps you go to the bathroom and you feel like you've eliminated. However, that doesn't eliminate toxins. Some people may take pills or they may do a regime and think, okay, well, I'm detoxing my body. But really, detoxification requires some specific, I say, detox juices along with lots of water to actually help rid the body of the toxins that are hiding in corners and nooks and crannies of our bodies.
So it's the fruits and the vegetables that you juice
Hmm.
that is it going into your bloodstream? That is it detoxing through through your bloodstream? Is it especially with the hydration piece?
Mm-hmm. That's a really great question. So what happens, I mean, everything that we take into our bodies goes through the liver, right, before it can actually go anywhere.
Okay.
So the detox juicing is actually a form of fasting because you're not eating while you're doing the detox juices. And so the nourishment and the nutrients that you're getting is actually coming in through your mouth, but it's passing very quickly through your digestive system. There's no fiber. So it's actually going through the digestive system, going through the liver, and then it's passing into the rest of your body. So the whole point is to provide your body with nutrients. I was just having a conversation today, and most people are malnourished and don't realize it because the body is requiring calcium and magnesium and phosphorus and potassium and all of that. And because we eat non-foods mostly, right? Most of us eat
Right.
food, things that are not really food. We're not really getting the nutrients. But when you detox juice, you're actually extracting from the fruits, vegetables, as well as herbs, because there's ginger and turmeric, and there's basil and parsley and other leafy herbs that you can use in the detox process. And these fruits and vegetables play a specific role in detoxing the body. So, for example, if you're looking at someone that has arthritis or inflammation, um, pineapple has bromelain in it, and that is an anti-inflammatory part of the pineapple. So when you're taking a juice that is made with pineapple and then you'd have ginger in it and perhaps turmeric, now you're helping your body get rid of the inflammation that is in your body.
Okay.
When you're using a green juice that has cruciferous vegetables, kale, um, collard greens, if you're using cucumbers and lemon, and also, what else was I thinking? Green apples. Now you're giving your body a cocktail basically to pull out those toxins from your body. And so, because the juices are designed in such a way that they're actually for healing, cleansing, and clearing up the toxins that are existing in our bodies.
Now let me ask you a question, because some people will do that through just fasting with water. Is that
Mhm.
something, what's the difference between that and fasting
Mhm.
with water?
So when you fast with water, you're not taking in any nutrients. So some people will do a water fast for spiritual reasons.
Mhm.
They'll deny themselves food. And it's the same process in the sense that your body will, you'll lose weight. You will, with the water, you can actually cleanse your body. However, the juices, because they're so specific, for example, lemon is acidic, but it's alkalizing to the body. So once you put lemon in a juice, you're now turning or hopefully turning an acidic body into an alkaline, or you don't want to be alkaline, you want to be balanced. But you're taking that acidity and you're moving it towards a neutral, which is where you want to be. And so the juices are, because they are filled with antioxidants and because they're filled with phytonutrients and nutrients, you're not just getting water, you're getting calcium, you're getting potassium, you're getting phosphorus, right? You're getting magnesium, you're getting vitamin A and vitamin C and all of the vitamins. So as you're taking in these detox juices, you're actually feeding your body what it needs in order for your brain, for you to thrive rather than to just survive.
Now, another question
Hmm.
what that I want to know, that I really want to ask. Fruits and vegetables these days are kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Is it a certain type of fruit or vegetable you should use when you are in detox mode?
So my recommendation is always to use organic. Now, of course, unless you're growing it yourself, you really don't know, but it's trusting that when you're buying organic, it is organic. I try to grow my greens myself. So I try to make sure I have kale and collards and the herbs in my own personal garden. And then carrots and beets, I'm growing them now as we speak. They're not ready yet. But I try to grow as much as I can. And so when I'm juicing, if I don't have in my own garden, then I will go to the grocery store or to another farmer and who I know doesn't use pesticides, and I'll buy vegetables from them, mostly vegetables, because we don't have a whole lot of fruit growing trees in Bermuda. So we are relying on importing in these organics. So mine's is a prayer. Like, Lord, I don't know where this came from. I don't know who grew it.
Right.
I'm only trusting that it says organic, and I'm asking you to do the rest because I'm doing the best that I can. But definitely, you want to be using, especially with the greens. Like I pay attention to, I think it's the EWR or EG. Oh, I can't remember what it's called, but it's that they publish a list of dirty vegetables and clean, dirty fruits and dirty vegetables
Oh,
and clean fruits and
okay.
clean vegetables. I think it's EWR. Oh, I may be gotten that wrong. But I pay attention to what they say. So they share
Okay.
that, like the fruits with the most pesticides is like strawberries. So you
Okay.
want to make sure, and then apples are highly pesticide
Yes.
fruits. And
I
then
can
the,
believe that.
yes, and then the greens that are highly pesticide are like kales and the leafy greens. And because those are thin skinned, so to speak, you want to be careful because that's how the pesticide residue stays. And when you're juicing, you're going to be juicing pesticides. Whereas fruits like
Mm.
pineapple's thick skin. So even if they do spray, I mean, you don't want, something that's being sprayed, but at least pineapples have thicker skin and they're less likely to be on that dirty list as opposed to those other fruits that people eat all the time, like grapes and the apples and the
Okay.
strawberries. The berries are generally on the dirty list.
So when you're detoxing, because do you use a do you juice with a blender or a juicer that pulls the pulp out?
That's a great question. A lot of people want to do my programs and they'll say, "Oh, I have a magic bullet." And I'll say, "That's a blender." So there's a difference. With a blender, you're actually taking the produce and you're just pulverizing it. So you're turning it into a pre-digested state. So like a smoothie would be done in a blender or magic bullet. Whereas the juice, you're actually extracting the liquid and discarding the pulp. So you don't, when you're doing a detox fast, you don't really want to be having to digest. You want your body to get into a state of just resting. And that's when the body can actually heal. When you're eating constantly, the body's constantly digesting. There isn't a time when it can actually stop other than when you're sleeping. So when you actually embark upon a detox juice fast, you're actually giving your digestive organs a break. Now they can heal. Now the body can focus on healing as opposed to trying to keep up with everything that you're putting in your mouth.
So what would be an ideal time frame to actually be successful in detoxing? Would it be a week, 3 days?
I think it just depends on what you want to experience. So my juice, the programs that I run, they all start with a detox juicing program or detox juice fast. And so the minimum is 3 days.
Okay.
Like the longest I've ever juiced was, I think, 13 days. I've done 13 days. I've had two clients last year, two male clients who were quite obese and they wanted to lose quite a bit of weight. So they detox juice for 30 days,
Wow.
just juice for 30 days. And they did it twice. And I know that because I made one of them's juices. So I think he had 90 juices. I made him 180 juices over a 2 month period. And I mean, he lost, I want to say, 82 pounds in the process. So he got under 300 pounds, and that was amazing. He was very, very happy with that. So I think it depends on what you want, what you want to achieve. We start a detox program on Sunday coming, and I've decided I'm probably going to do 10 days.
Okay.
I think I'll do 10 days. 10, 10, about 11. I haven't gone longer than 13, so I'll see how I feel. But it's any time of the year you can do it. Of course, there's limitations, at least where I live, as far as getting the produce in the island. So summer fruits are not as available like watermelons, and I love watermelon in a juice. They're not as available as during the summer months. But certainly, I would always tell anyone it depends on what you want to achieve. I think once you get past the first day, maybe the first 2 days, it's kind of mind over matter. And it's like, oh, I'm just drinking juice. But then by the time you get to like day 4, you're used to it. And then you can kind of go. We've had clients that have said, oh, I'm going to do 3 days. And then others on the program say, well, I'm going to do 10. And so those that are doing 3 are like, I want to go longer. But you can go as long as you want. And so they'll go to like 7 days. So really, it's a mind over matter, because I think psychologically we want to chew, we want to eat. But once you get into the rhythm of the juicing, you realize you're not hungry because your body's actually getting the nutrients that it requires. Then you can really go. I mean, I wouldn't go longer than 30 days myself. But it's really as long as you, and I guess it depends on what your goals are as well.
Yeah, I've done 7. And you're
Hmm.
right. After the second day,
Yeah.
and you hit that third, the second day is a little tough. The third day is like you're on the roll. You
Yeah,
you
I could
pretty
do this.
much I can do this. You
Yeah.
actually okay because you're not hungry.
Yes,
And it's amazing how you're not hungry.
absolutely. Yeah,
But
that's
then when
that's
you
the
come off,
part.
you're back to chewing, and it's
Yeah.
like, so
Uh,
is it a way to get, is it a proper way to end it and
yes.
and move from the transition of not eating to eating where you're not back into bad habits?
Yeah, I think the whole process, and what I do in my programs is really try to teach and educate my clients on the whole process. We've been conditioned to think that we have to have 3 meals a day, and we don't. We really don't. And so, those that have the greatest success as far as maintaining are those that stick with the program. And so, when you break the fast, we always break it with a melon because you want something that's watery. And the
Mhm.
most, fruit that's the most, has the most water would be a melon. So we would break the fast with the melon, and then we would transition into eating just fruits for a couple of days, because fruits are cleansers and vegetables are restorers. So if you want to continue to cleanse, then you want to stay on fruits. Then once we finish the cleansing with the fruits, then we transition on to raw vegetables. And I teach my clients and share with them in cooking classes. You don't just have to have salad. You can use your food processor and make some wonderful, delicious raw foods that or meals that are not just lettuce and tomato and cucumber. And so I teach them how to do that. Then once we move off of raw veg, move from raw vegetables, we introduce cooked vegetables and nuts. And then from there, the following week, we will add into their grains, and then we add legumes. So I give them 30 days, and then by the end of the 30 days, they have introduced everything, just plants, no animal products, back into the diet.
Okay, I got
Mm,
it.
mm,
Okay. So you have a book, and we kind of discussed it a little bit.
mhm.
Is the detox, what is it? The detox
Detox juicing blueprint.
blueprint, right?
Hmm.
Tell us about that book. It just launched
So
November 11th, right?
yes, yes. I mean, here it is. I'm very, very proud of it.
Nice.
It was a dream come true. A lot of work, I must say, but I'm just looking to pull it up on my Kindle as well. The book is, I think it's the birth or the child of just my years of doing these kind of programs, the detox type programs, because I started doing them 10 years ago. And and so I had a lot of clients that were having a lot of success, and they were sharing their testimonies on Zoom. They were, writing me their testimonies and putting them on my website. And so the book kind of came out of these stories, people's stories, people coming off of medication and people not having the pain in their knees anymore. And those who were once diabetic are no longer diabetic anymore. And those who had some markers that were outside of norm, now returning back to a normalized place. And so, I felt like this was a great time to be able to kind of write the book and share their stories because the stories are so powerful. Even emotional detoxification, a lot of times we don't think about the emotional detox that needs to take place, but we hold a lot of stuff and that impacts our
Yes.
health and it stunts our ability to actually to be able to heal.
I totally agree with you on that. And so, um, who are, I would say, your ideal clients? Is it all vegans? Is it people who want to go to be a vegan or vegetarian?
Mhm.
How is that? Who are your
So
ideal
I
clients?
think my ideal clients are people who are committed to their health, making
Okay.
an investment in their health and not afraid to make lifestyle changes, which I'm sure you're aware of. The most of the people today are of, dying from disease. Whereas
Yes.
back in the day, my grandmother died of old age. She got old, but she didn't have any identified diseases. And so nowadays, people are dying or becoming chronically ill based on lifestyle choices, which most times involves non-foods or foods that have been scientifically proven to be unhealthy to the human body. And
Right.
so my ideal clients are people who are serious about wanting to make the changes because they want to have a better quality of life. And the majority of people are surviving, they're not thriving.
True
And
that.
yes. And so, I have people who have been heavy meat eaters that come in and they've stayed on a plant-based diet. I don't know, where they are now. I've got those that have come in and decided they wanted to go back to animals, and the weight comes back on, and the illness comes back. And
Okay.
so, I'm there to help whomever wants help. But at the same time, you have to understand that if you go back to the way you were, then just know that those things that you had experienced are going to just come back and oftentimes worse than before.
Right.
Hmm.
And so, thank you so much for sharing this because this is very important. You're right. Health is
Hmm.
very important because
Hmm.
mental, physical, emotional, holistic as a health
Yes.
as a whole is so important. So, if you have one piece of advice that you want to give the audience, what would it be?
Mm. I think that the majority of people don't drink enough water. They don't hydrate enough. Um, and lack of water or dehydration is huge when it comes to diabetes, when it comes to high blood
Mm,
pressure, when it comes to the body not being able to detoxify itself. And so if I can give any words of advice is make sure you're drinking water and not just any water. People think drinking bottled water is fine. You don't want to be really drinking out of plastic bottles like that. I choose to drink distilled water because it's the best water. It doesn't have anything in it. Some people think, well,
okay.
mineral water. You don't want mineral water because they're filled with minerals that come from rocks and stuff. Your body can't read that helps to I'm sorry, helps to cause toxins in the body. You want your
Hmm.
minerals from your food. Plants eat minerals and then we eat plants. We aren't supposed to just drink in minerals because they toxify the body. And so my advice would be to get to know how much water you should be drinking. I always advise 40% of your body weight in ounces. And so if you weigh 100 pounds and it's 40 ounces of water, but not, 10, 10, 10, and 10, you want to be drinking that water all through the day over a 10-hour period because your tissues and your cells require the water to function, and your blood needs the water in order to be able to pump through your body effectively.
That's some great
Mhm.
advice because I struggle with water. I have to be intentional. I have a water app
Yes,
that
I
reminds
do
me to
too.
drink water. That's how intentional I have to be. So that was some great advice. And no, I never knew that I never knew the differences between the waters distilled or whatever. That's thank you for that key advice.
Mhm.
And so thank you so much for joining us, Dr.
Thank
Kendra-Lee.
you.
And I am super excited about what you're doing. And to the audience, her information will be in the video. Reach out to her, get her detox book look really amazing. I saw the juices on the outside, and and
Yes.
I take it that you actually you make juices for people, huh?
So, people always want to know how they can buy my juices. And I'm not a juice maker.
Okay, okay.
I'm a naturopathic doctor who uses detox juices as a prescription, like a prescription
Oh
for my
wow.
clients. Yeah.
Okay.
So, if a client wants me to do their juices at a cost, then I will do their juices and I make them very prescriptive for them. So if someone has high blood pressure, then I know what herbs I need to put in there for them. If someone has a lot of inflammation, then I'll focus on making sure their juices have a lot of ginger and turmeric and in them because I'm treating them prescriptively. So I do make juices for clients at a cost, but I don't sell juices like that.
Okay. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm glad you mentioned that you actually are a a
Yes,
naturopathic
yes,
doctor because that's key. And I like how you prescribe natural things. It
yes,
correlates. It actually aligns with with what you do. So I'm glad you
yes,
mentioned that because that's part of like your coaching.
absolutely.
Am I correct?
Yes, and I use detox juices. I use essential oils, doTERRA. I
Oh
use
wow.
herbal tinctures as a part of my prescription to my clients. We also use infrared sauna. We also use poultices for those that may have some challenges, and we use hydrotherapy. So, we
Hey.
use a lot of methodologies to help our clients to get well and so that the body can heal itself. Is that's what it wants to do. But I want to say just before we end, I do testing using a non-invasive RBTI body chemistry test, which is Ream's biological theory of ionization. I don't know if you've heard of that before,
No, I haven't.
but okay, and I'm certified to do that. And so before any client gets anything from me, we test them. And this test is able to do an analysis to see everything from head to toe, what's going on with their body just from a sample of urine and saliva. And so we can pinpoint um, some things growing that you may not even be aware of, but it's showing in your blood work or in not your blood work, sorry, your body chemistry in your organs. And so we could pinpoint that someone may have some growths that they're not aware of.
Wow.
Yeah, just by doing testing. And then their age will also determine. So someone who's younger, you know, they may not have something that someone who's 60 may be showing. And so it's a way to really get a good handle on before you give anything, before you even make the juices. I want to know if you're acidic or if you're too alkaline, because we want you to be balanced.
Okay.
Before I even prescribe anything herbal wise, we do that body chemistry testing, and then it tells us what's going on. So if we see some things growing or possibly in your organs, we can actually give you some herbs and your body can actually fight that and you'll never get a diagnosis.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's very
incredible.
powerful. It's very powerful. Very
And
powerful.
do insurance pay for that?
No,
Okay.
that's the unfortunate thing. As a naturopathic, we don't get covered under insurance unless in where
Oh
I'm
yeah,
from.
because it kind of
Yeah,
goes against.
yeah, it's considered alternative,
Right.
even though it's the original. That's the interesting thing. It is the original.
It is
Yeah.
very interesting. So, well, thank you so much, Dr.
Sure.
Kendra-Lee. And to the audience, if you are struggling with
Hmm.
health issues or want to know how to be healthier or want that test done because you're curious, because
Hmm.
the blood work you're getting is not giving you the chemistry part,
Hmm.
please reach out to Dr. Kendra-Lee, and her information will be in the video, and you can it'll give you a chance to reach out and get the help you need. And if you know someone who
Mm.
can benefit from this, please do share the video and subscribe to my channel, because remember, I
Yes.
always have amazing people on my platform. And so I just want you guys to just thank Dr. Kendra Lee for coming today and sharing her wisdom. And to the audience, have an amazing Monday and enjoy your day. It's your time to shine, your journey to chart. Coach Rice wisdom will heal every heart. So join us now. Let's make life suffice. Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice.